so much. Very nice. I love it.
So we're back in the game, but since the Grow a Garden Friendship update came out not too long ago, I decided that instead of stealing, I would try my God-given luck on the new anti-bee eggs and try to get the new disco bee. I then quickly bought 10 of them, spending over 1,000 Robux, and ran over to my garden in order to plant them. I planted 3 of them and waited for them to hatch. And when they were ready, I began opening them with the first egg giving me the lowest tier wasp, the second one the second lowest tier tarantula hawk, and another one for the third one. Well, the first batch of eggs yielded me practically nothing, but it's no biggie since I still had 7 eggs left. I then planted the next batch of eggs knowing I was going to get that beautiful disco bee. But I ended up getting wasp after wasp, though the third one was a moth, so I guess it wasn't all bad. So I placed down the next set of eggs, and as I watched them grow, I began to beg the Grow a Garden gods for that god-forsaken disco bee. But it seemed like my prayers went unanswered as I pulled a wasp after fucking wasp. This shit's starting to PMO. I now had 1 egg left, so I planted down the egg with care. Please, I beg you, disco! Man, fuck this. So we're back on the game ready to get some devious licks for the 9th goddamn time. But before we begin, I wanted to let you guys know that I finally got my hands on a disco bee from the premium anti-egg pack. Took me over 30 eggs to get this shit. But as you guys already know, my garden is still completely devoid of any signs of life, and since I'm a charitable soul, I'll be giving it to the top comment in this video. Anyways, I joined a new game looking for my first victim to rob blind, and oh my god. It was like a wet dream in here. Jer had a whopping 1.7 trillion smeckle boom booms to his name. But when I ran over to his garden, I realized that I was completely catfished, since his entire plot was almost entirely barren. Though he still had a golden sunflower, which is supposed to be good. So I took it and some of the moon melons he had. I then joined a new lobby where I quickly noticed that my neighbor had some juicy fruits just there waiting for me. But I suddenly paused before I stole anything as I had noticed that there was an even bigger fish in this lobby. They were just sitting there waiting for Papa to collect them, and so I did. It was like a heaven for thieves. I just kept stealing, over and over again since nobody could stop me. But as I was completely ravaging his garden, someone approached me. He turned out to be a fan, and since I'm a kind and gentle human being, I decided to give him one of the fruits I had previously stolen, and he was really thankful. I made a really good profit today, making a total of 12 billion shekels, giving me a brand new complete total of 32 billion.
New leak of the Mega Summer Update this week. This is a Lungan seed which might be in the game. Do you think this should be in the game? If this secret account hits 350k followers before the update, I will do something crazy during the update.
I had finally done it. After spending almost all of my Robux on anti-bee eggs, I did the impossible. I had amassed an army of over 20 disco bees all by my very self. Just look at these bad boys. Look at them fly over my beautiful garden. But wait, what in God's green earth is that? A wasp in my garden? Oh, hell nah. I quickly grabbed that disgusting creature and ran over to the pet shop. I then handed him over to the salesman since I will not have any filthy wasps in my garden. Anyways, since I have no use for 20 disco bees, I will be giving them to random people who subscribed and follow in order to give them a new home they can enjoy. Look at how happy that little guy is in his new home. Anyways, I decided to trade one of the disco bees for a bunch of beautiful candy blossoms, and each one of them were worth over 2 trillion shekels, meaning I could instantly get over 40 trillion. But I decided not to do that since I wanted to get to 1 trillion organically by only stealing, so I will be giving some of these to the top comments in this video. Anyways, good luck. So I was just chilling in my garden tending to my beautiful disco bees when I suddenly noticed a player joining my game. His name was D-Big, with a whopping 20 shekels to his name. I walked a little closer to his garden and knew that he was a brand new player since his garden was completely empty. The boy then walked over to the seed shop and spent every single penny he owned. He then went back to his garden and began planting the carrots he had bought and went to go explore the rest of the map. But he had left the delectable carrots he had planted completely unattended. This was the perfect time for the greatest thief in Grow a Garden to do what he does best. I stole everything, making the bacon come back running in an instant. No! He asked why, but I didn't care. I was evil. The bacon then pulled out his shovel and chased me across the entire map. Come back here, boy! But after a couple minutes, he got tired and stopped. He asked what he was going to do without any carrots. He was completely screwed, and I told the boy that there was nothing he could do and left the game. Well, moral of the story is, if you see cream, you better run away and scream. So we're back in the game, ready to get some devious licks for the 11th goddamn time. But before we begin, since you guys kept asking me over and over again to add a tail to my perfect disguise, I had to do what I was told like a good boy, so here it is. Ha. What I do for you guys. Anyways, so I loaded into a public lobby and I took absolutely no time to start stealing. Look at me steal these delicious moon melons. Oh, I know my granddaddy would be proud. But moon melons weren't the only thing the boy had, as I had spotted a couple of ember lilies, so I took them with no hesitation. I then went back to ravaging the rest of the moon melons. But as I was doing so, the garden owner spotted me. But he didn't seem to care that I was stealing his precious fruits, but actually encouraged it. He then came over to my garden, and seeing my army of disco bees flying around, he offered me his candy blossom worth trillions for one of my beautiful bees. But since he let me ravage his garden, and because I'm also a kind and humble angel, I decided to give him one in exchange for absolutely nothing. But even though I said I gave it to him for free, he still decided to give me the candy blossom. What a good boy he turned out to be. Anyways, I stole a ton of fruits in this video, selling everything for a whopping 13 billion schmeckles, and with my brand new total of 45 billion, I was now a little closer to my goal of 1 trillion. It was over for me. It had been almost a month, and my fucking hair still hadn't grown even an inch taller. I questioned if this was it. I couldn't take it anymore. I was no longer Mr. Nice Guy. I started stealing from every single player in the world. I stole candy blossoms, moon melons, and ember lilies. It didn't matter if you were rich or poor, I was coming for you no matter what. The grow a garden gods had forsaken me, so I took my anger out on the world. No one could stop me. I had stolen so much that I made a whopping 20 billion shekels in an instant. But as I was continuing my crime spree, someone approached me. His name was Mystical Jellybean, and he offered me a fruit that could finally cure me of my baldness. I was skeptical, but he assured me it would work, so I didn't hesitate any longer and devoured it whole. Oh my God, it had worked. I was in complete awe that my hair was finally back. I had dreads. I was so moved to tears that I could almost cry. And since I was now in a great mood, I decided I would be giving 3 of my beautiful disco bees to 3 random comments in this video. Anyways, good luck. You guys have less than 35 hours until the new Grow a Garden Summer update comes out. I don't know why you guys are still sitting on your ass scrolling on TikTok. But you guys need to hurry up and stock up on everything, get all the new sprinklers, and most importantly, hurry up and get a disco bee before you never get the chance at it again. You also need to get yourself even a single dragon pepper for your garden, so what are you waiting for? You need to get all of the new seeds, especially the nectar thorn, since it's better than the moon melon when doing the sprinkler method. Also, you better have a couple of sunflowers in your garden because this shit's already been out for more than 2 weeks. I've also heard that every single one of the seeds from the seed shop would be getting vaulted and replaced by new ones, so stock up on them while you can. And if you guys are worried you guys won't be able to roll a disco bee for yourself, don't worry, because I got a ton of them, and I'll be giving them to people who like and subscribe. Make sure to watch the video till the end so I can make more money to spend on disco bees for you guys. Also follow my Roblox account so I can join you guys in-game and give you free stuff.
Days sometimes as if they'll never end. Some use it all.
Since my beautiful luscious hair finally came back, and since the new Grow a Garden update comes out in less than 7 hours, I wanted to share my precious disco bee army with some lucky players I found in the game. So I joined a random server and found a player with only 26 measly shekels to their name. So I went to go look for their garden and found her planting carrots. I then started a conversation, but before I decided that I would give her anything, I needed to put her to the test. I asked her if I could have one of her fruits, and she replied telling me to come back in 2 minutes so she could grow her first fruits and give one to me. So I waited around for a couple minutes watching her grow her garden. But I got tired of waiting and went over to ask where my goddamn fruits were. She finally came over to me and gave me a strawberry, and since she was kind enough to help a poor little noob like me, I asked her if she wanted to become a trillionaire. She said yes, so I said bet, and gave her a candy blossom worth 2 trillion shekels and a disco bee for her farm. She was ecstatic and thanked me for my good deed. I then loaded into a new game ready to share my wealth with the next person, but I had spotted a garden with multiple candy blossom trees. My mouth watered, and I couldn't hold myself back any longer. I started stealing everything he had. The gardener begged me to stop, but I just couldn't. This was my true calling. I kept stealing over and over again. But don't worry, I'll still share my wealth with my followers and subscribers.
With the new Grow a Garden update coming out just a couple hours ago, I decided to test my God-given luck on the exotic summer seed packs once again. I bought 30 of these bad boys, so I better be getting at least one of the elephant ear seeds or else. I started gambling, and the first seed I got was a goddamn wild carrot, and another one after that. I swear to God, Jandal, you better bless me with the best luck of all time right now. I then kept spinning and got me a pair and then another pair, but I did get a mythical parasol flower on my 5th spin. Elephant ears, where the hell you at, boy? Nah, you're shitting me with this luck. I don't want no goddamn carrots. I then managed to roll a rainbow pack and got excited on what I was gonna get. Bruh, are we serious right now? I then spun again, and surprise, surprise, I pulled another rainbow pack and got me a rosy delight. 2 rainbow packs back to back? Hell yeah! I still had 17 seed packs left, so I went on spinning. I kept on getting lame-ass carrots and pears with the occasional parasol flower. I now had 5 seed packs left. Oh boy, where is my goddamn elephant ears? Please, I'm begging you, Jandal. I rolled and I got nothing good until I was finally down to my last pack. Man, fuck this. Since the summer harvest event came out yesterday and seeing all of the rewards you could get from it, I decided I would try to get me some and grow my own garden with the new seeds. I started planting all of the seeds I had collected over the years. A little bit of parasol flowers here, and a little bit of cantaloupes there. I grouped all of these bad boys together. Look at my shiny new plants. I then ran over to use the greatest method to grow your fruits, the pay-to-win method. I bought the grow all, and in an instant, the garden grew to a small little forest. Eventually, the event began, and I started collecting all of the fruits I had planted and went over to offer them to the summer harvest. I started dropping everything I had into the basket, and this shit couldn't take any longer even if I wanted to. Please, Jandal, add an option that just takes all of the summer fruits off your inventory like in the lunar event. Even after offering every single summer fruit I had, it only amounted to 1,400 points, and I was stuck on the uncommon rewards. It was obvious that the event was impossible to do alone, so if you want, you can try and look for teammates in this comment section. In the end, I only got mere pebbles for my hard work. Definitely don't do this alone. Anyways, I'm giving disco bees and raccoons to my followers and subscribers, so if you want one, hurry up and subscribe and comment your username. These are the things you must do in order to become an absolute beast at the new summer harvesting event and grow a garden. 1. Before the event even begins, you have to make sure that your inventory is completely full to the max with the new fruits in order to maximize your rewards. 2. Make sure to have at least 2 basic and advanced sprinklers in your garden so your fruits grow faster during the event. 3. If you didn't know, mutations like gold or rainbow actually affect how many points you get when you offer them to the harvesting basket, so you better stock up on dragonflies. And 4, make sure you have a maxed out lobby of players so you don't repeat the same mistake I did of only doing it with 2 people and ending up with just uncommon rewards. But if you don't have any friends to play with, feel free to use the comment section below to look for a team. Here I'm doing the summer event with a full 5 players, but my god, putting in all the fruits is about to take me 10 years. Tag Jandal and tell his ass to make an option to be able to offer all summer fruits. Anyways, you gotta sell everything and go back to your garden for even more fruits, and rinse and repeat. After the event was almost over, we finally hit legendary rewards. Yes, I know it isn't prismatic yet, but that was only because my team was straight up dookie. Anyways, the event ended and I got myself some pretty decent rewards. I was walking around in Grow a Garden when I suddenly noticed a player called Toast with Butter. His garden seemed broke and he only had a mere 6 billion shekels to his name. So when he walked outside, I went up to him and asked him why he was so broke. He told me he didn't know, so I asked him if he wanted to be rich instead. He replied that he did. So I told him that he had 30 seconds to tell me what the first 5 numbers of pi were. And I kid you not, I swear on my granddaddy's soul that he done told me the first 6 digits of pi in 5 goddamn seconds. I was in utter shock, but I still gave him the candy blossom anyways. And after he went to sell it, it took him from the mere 6 billion shekels he had before to a whopping 2.7 trillion. I then joined a new lobby looking for my next target when I found a man named Klava with only 264 measly million shekels in his bank account. I walked up to him and laid it out. I told him he was broke, but he responded telling me he was Russian and couldn't understand me. I was confused, but asked him if he wanted money, but he told me again that he was Russian. I tried to make him understand, but to no avail since he told me he couldn't understand Russian. A Russian that couldn't understand Russian. I've seen it all. I asked him if he wanted money, cash, shekels, doubloons, but he just stood there staring into my soul, so I decided to give it to him anyways. He seemed happy, so I guess it was worth it. Anyways, if you want a disco bee or raccoon, join the Discord server in bio. I was in my no enemies arc in Grow a Garden. My hair finally grew back and I had over 11 trillion shekels in my bank account. Life was basically sunshines and rainbows, so I decided to go out to random servers and spread the wealth with other players. I was making people trillionaires and artificially creating inflation. I then joined a new lobby and noticed a bacon boy standing around in his garden, so I walked up to him and asked if he wanted to become a trillionaire. He told me yes. So I gave him a candy blossom worth 2 trillion, which completely surprised him, making him thank me. I then left to go look for the next person, but as the bacon boy was celebrating finally becoming rich, 2 boys suddenly came out of nowhere looking kinda hungry for his candy blossom. They suddenly pulled out their pew-pews and told the poor bacon to hand it over. "No!" he said, but the bacon boy was scared and had no choice but to give them the candy blossom. And as they left, he could only sob as he watched them leave. I then came back to see what the hell was going on and asked the bacon what had happened. He told me that they done stole his candy blossom, so I told him not to worry since I would find them and get revenge. I then found a player's garden and he seemed to fit the profile, so I walked inside and started stealing his precious candy blossoms. He asked, "What are you doing?" telling me to stop, but I didn't care and kept on stealing anyways. He was crying, and I told him that that's what he got for stealing from people in my presence. Why? I then left to go look for the next criminal and arrived at another player's garden. The sign at the entrance said that there was no trespassing allowed, but I went in anyways. He also had candy blossom trees, so I started stealing his most valuable fruits to teach him a lesson. But the gardener spotted me and said that that was his. So I told him that he shouldn't have messed with the bacon boy and kept stealing his fruits. He was absolutely devastated. I doubt he's gonna steal again. I then went back to the bacon boy and gave him everything I had stolen, and he was really happy. I just woke up and found out that there were not 1 but 2 super seeds in the forever pack in Grow a Garden. So I did what anyone would and shucked up the clams in order to get me some. Please, Jandal Big Papa, bless me with a sugar apple. First, you gotta get past the 37 Robux watering can, and then the 37 Robux shekels until you finally reach the first super seed. That's 111 Robux that you would have to pay to get the first one. But the second one is literally right next to it, worth 99 Robux, so you would have to spend a total of 210 Robux in order to get both of them. Jandal, I swear if I get a goddamn carrot, I'll find where you live and follow you home. Anyways, I ran over to my garden ready to plant the first seed, but would you look at that? I got a goddamn cauliflower. I was slowly losing hope on getting my rainbow sugar apple seed. Jandal boy, where's my sugar apples at? Anyways, it was now time to plant my next seed, but I stood as far away as possible because I was scared of what I was gonna get. Oh, please let it be a sugar apple. I slowly stepped closer toward the plant and started watering it in order to get the big reveal. But since I have the worst goddamn luck imaginable, I ended up getting a filthy tomato seed. Like the video, or I'll curse you with this luck. Also, let me know if you guys want a disco bee or a raccoon.